How's it going, everyone? Today I will be installing some new parts in my Rhino Racing Shark. If you saw my last video, I put a new servo into it and it went really well. Everything's working great and I'm gonna keep the performance upgrades going. So I got upper arms, lower arms, carriers, front hub carriers and hubs, whatever those are called. And I got some parts from a guy at the track, which I really appreciated. I got the front tower with the actual Yokomo aluminum block in it, and I really appreciated that. So I'm gonna get that all installed. We're gonna do some testing. I wanna get this thing dialed in for the competition coming up soon. So subscribe, like the video, and let's get into it. The real reason I'm doing all this is ever since I've had the Shark, I've had the RD 1.0 plastic parts on it, and I think I've just put a lot of abuse on them. I've hit walls, I've done a lot of not so smart stuff. So I'm gonna do some upgrades that help me get a little bit more performance, get a little bit more precision at least with my driving, because all these metal and machined parts with bearings that they all ride on is gonna bring a lot of performance, I believe, and a lot of stability to this car. So let's get on into that. Okay, so the nice thing is each of these sets of parts that I purchased each have their own little manual in them. So you don't have to go searching online, so that's really nice. I'm just working on putting these together. Pretty simple. Not too many pieces on these. It's the actual arms that get a little bit more complicated. Okay, I've got these all finished. Now I just gotta move on to the next part. I'm gonna move to a little bit of a different room so I can sit down and focus a little bit better though. So we'll check back in. So I'm gonna start tearing this front end apart. That way I can start swapping out parts, and I need these ball studs. I need a few other things to put onto the new parts, but then we'll start putting the upper arms and the lower arms on, and these have a lot of little pieces, so we're gonna have to go through those and make sure we get them all right. One important thing when you're upgrading parts is you're gonna eliminate things like this type of slop, this up and down, all that. By going to something like this, you're actually going to get a lot more precision out of your driving and almost no slop in the actual system itself, which will just help you be a lot cleaner and make what you're doing look a lot better. So that's just a quick little tip on why I think certain things like this are important. But I took a long time. It's been almost 9 months that I've been driving this car, and I'm just now getting around to putting some of these parts on. So as you can see, the rear end is all plastic still. I don't really know if I'll ever get to that with the upgraded metal parts, but for now we're just going to keep plugging away at this. Alright, I just got the lower arms installed. Not too bad actually, pretty simple. I'm still using the stock blocks on from the RD 1.0. As you can see, the plastic, I haven't upgraded to the Shark metal ones yet. I was told I probably don't need them, so we're going with this, and these feel super sturdy. Try to wiggle on them. The old ones would just wobble everywhere. These are nice and rigid in there, so I'm excited about this. I'm going to start working on these upper ones now. Be able to throw this new shock tower on. Just got the upper arms all installed, which means they are almost all complete. Here are the knuckles that I built earlier. I got those all put on with the parts they needed. I refreshed these, put fresh ball studs on there with fresh plastics. I'm going to replace the plastics on these ones right now for my steering rack. That way everything has a little bit better tolerance, just to keep freshening everything up. I also need to put the shock tower and shocks back on, so that'll be coming too, but we're almost there. Okay, I just got everything installed. As you can see in there, the purple's all matching real nice. Got everything put in the way it needs to be. Got my steering and all my stuff adjusted as well, which is awesome. As you can see, got mostly everything lined up. Had to make a couple modifications. These shock towers, these caps, I had to get the longer ones, or it had longer ones here, so I had to put these shorter ones on. Had to move the shock hole up just a little bit to get everything right as far as the ride height. And yeah, everything's looking really good, and it feels really nice. Everything's smooth. There's no weird wobbles or anything like the plastic had. It's a little bit more dialed in from the feel of it. Got a little bit more angle out of it as well. When I went to adjust the actual endpoints, I actually was able to get a little bit more it stopped pretty soon when I went to go test it. So, all right, so the only thing we can do now is test it all out. So let's head to Super G and see how it all runs. All right, let's get a couple laps of this shark. Ooh, that thing's screaming. Oh yeah. So we've been testing out these new shark parts here at Super G. It's a pretty good night. The competition's this Saturday, so trying to get this thing dialed in now that I got them all installed. Everything feels awesome. I've moved the steering position forward a little bit. It gave me a little bit more toe, and my angles are feeling pretty good on that. The only thing I wish I could do is maybe do a little more power, so I might throw a 10.5 in here one of these days, but it'll be after the first competition, so we'll see how that goes. For now, I'm just practicing and having a good time here. If you guys want to know any more about this car, I have a bunch of videos about it, so just go check out my channel. Appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the running footage of it, and we'll see you in the next one. Make sure you subscribe. Thank you.